Diane Franklin, and you are watching Du Bois Podcast.
Hi, Monique. Something wrong, Monique? Nice talking to you.
Hey, yes, something is wrong. This, how you say, dark head, is an unleashed sex fiend. Ricky, he will not leave me alone. He thinks because I stay here, I am his love goddess, his prostrate. No, prostitute.
Holy shit. You big faker. You speak English.
But of course I speak English. I speak very good English. I will not, however, speak Mrs. Smith's, qu'est-ce qu'elle dit? International language of love with this reptilian son. Mon Dieu.
Well, honk my hooter. I don't believe that you've understood everything we've said this whole time.
Look, Len, if you were living with a family like that, the less you spoke, the happier you would be. I promise you.
God, I never thought of that.
What is this strange elation taking my train of thought to an unknown destination? Suddenly, I don't know where I am, but like a tremor or a spark, something's happening in my heart.
1 minute.
I've been arrested by you, take me.
Voila.
Finally captured by you, by you, by you. Take me. I've been arrested by you, take me. Finally captured by you, by
I got these for Christmas.
you. Take me.
Whatever. Monique, I just wanted to thank you for everything. Merci buckets. Wait, I forgot the most important thing.
Hello again, my excellent friend.
Wow!
Congratulations on passing your history report.
Rufus, babes, we looked all over England for you. Where'd you get those savory clothes?
Rufus introduced us to a place called the Mall and something called credit cards.
I got them out of England just before they had to marry those royal ugly dudes.
Oh, way to go, Rufus. How can we ever thank you, Rufus?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joe, also known as Jay-Z Productions on YouTube. Welcome to Boys Podcast. I got an amazing guest. What is your name, Miss?
Diane Franklin.
Welcome, Miss Franklin. I thank you for being a guest here. I got a couple of questions, if you don't mind.
I'd love to get your questions. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what are you doing during these times of quarantine?
That is a very good question because I'm so glad that you're addressing the fact that there's quarantine and what's going on presently, because I really think that's the most important thing that's happening right now is all of the stuff that's going on. And I will tell you. So first of all, obviously, with all that's going on, we have the coronavirus, we have protests, we have Black Lives Matter, and there's rioting, and then there's looting, and then there's the government's not taking control right now. We sort of are feeling kind of like what's happening. I think at least for my generation, those of us who were sort of 60s babies or so, we do not 60 like the 1960s or something. We've never really been through this in our country. But then if you're older, then if you were raised in like the 50s, you've seen this before, in a certain respect. So it's kind of, and then obviously the new generation, everyone's just going, what is happening and how out of control can things get? Which I think is, I think it does a lot of things, and sometimes obviously good things come out of bad things. That's life, right? Sometimes, and that's another thing has to do with acting, is that sometimes, in acting, what you think is a problem, or someone forgets their lines, or something falls off stage, or there's, they didn't get the shot, or blah, blah. Sometimes what you think is a problem becomes a great resolve, or, a wonderful surprise. So we have to trust ourselves that there's an organic way life works. And when we go to a rock bottom situation, which, we don't know if that is now or, if it gets worse, just trust that that's the evolution of life. That's how things go, so you don't want to force, you don't want to create, you don't want to stop movement in life. You want to go with the flow and maybe direct it in the direction that it will go. It's like trying to stop a river. You know what I mean? You don't stop the water flow. You might direct it in certain ways. So that technically is how I see all this going on right now in quarantine. And I think that what it's teaching everybody is, you can tell someone to be grateful. You can tell someone to save your money or put your, or be kind, or you could tell people this, but it isn't until you experience something in your life that makes it clear. And experience your senses is what I'm saying. You see it, you hear it, you touch it, you taste it, you feel it. These are things that stick with us for the rest of our lives. So I think that what's happening now when we're talking about the quarantine and what I'm doing is, first of all, I'm a very grateful person in general. But it also makes me feel like I'm glad that I've been grateful in my life, and I'm glad I've appreciated the moments that have happened to me, because that's essentially all we have, our experiences and our emotions, and that's what we take with us. So that makes you a stronger person when you go through adversity. And certainly my adversity is not as bad as so many other people's experiences. But I want everybody to know that whatever your adversity, the stronger adversity makes you the stronger person. Okay. And so for me, what I've been doing during the quarantine is specifically the coronavirus. To me, that was an opportunity of free time. So where a lot of people might be very, they get bored, I go, oh my gosh, this free time will only happen for a set amount of time. I need to take advantage of this opportunity. So I have been actually teaching kids acting. I do these videos that I've been creating so that kids from K to 8th grade can learn acting skills, but also use their imagination and bring them to a place where they have hope and positive energy coming into their life, and that they're using their body and their voice. So they're not just sitting there, reading or playing a video game or watching TV. They're actually getting up and participating. So I'm helping make the world a better place. And I'm also writing a book right now. I have 2 books on Amazon right now. And this is my 3rd one. And this is a book about the film I did called Better Off Dead. And Better Off Dead is a very do you know Better Off Dead, Joe?
Monique.
Monique, very nice. I am a French exchange student and I took like this in the film. And this very nice. And French fries, French bread, Peru. So you see, it even brings a smile to Joe's face, which is this film is a film that I think passes on good energy to people. And of all the films I've done, I mean, I've done a lot of films and I've done a lot of TV work, but this film is very special to me because the character of Monique is the closest to who I am. And I feel like she's a great role model for women. And I think she's a great role model for happiness and taking care of problems. Like, you've got a problem, don't be a victim of the problem, ground it and say, how can I make this work? You know, and that is part of your imagination as a person. You know, I think at a certain point, and as we grow up in adulthood, people forget that being creative and being imaginative and figuring out how to solve problems never stops. And why do we stop using our imagination and having fun with that as we get older? What happened? So I love teaching kids because the imagination is open and there's no judgment. Awesome. You just you create, you don't edit yourself. So anyway, I've been writing this book, and what happened was I actually was doing these conventions. And in the conventions, I brought my Better Off Dead coat, which I still have. I have the original coat.
That's so cool.
I was like, okay, if you come to this convention, you can take a picture wearing the coat, which I think is like very exciting. I mean, if I watched a film and they had an actual piece of clothing or a hat or something from the film, I would want to wear it because it's like bringing the past and the present together.
Yeah.
So I brought the coat, and then while I was doing this, I did this for a few years, and someone said to me, oh, you should make a book and put all the pictures in it of everyone wearing the coat. And I went, my gosh, that's a great idea. So originally the whole thing started with a fan talking about this and loving Better Off Dead. And I realized that if you love Better Off Dead, you are a good person. That's just the way it goes. You're a good person because you have a sense of humor and you understand, you could be self-effacing and you understand the love of that film. That's it. It's an interesting film. It's a love story. It's a comedy, right?
Yeah.
I decided to make the film, to make this book. And then from that, actually, I have a lot of people in the film who said they would do interviews. So I've gotten so many interviews from people. And so this is, to me, going to be a tribute book to Better Off Dead. And I hopefully will have it out before Christmas. I'm working on it. And that's what, during the quarantine, is a great time. So that's just a couple of things I've been doing. But and some people offered me some acting work. I've done that. I've done a lot of podcasts because this is my time where I can spread good energy. And I think that is really what we need.
Thank you. Wow. I like that. I'll be sure to check out the book.
I'll let you know. And then, again, I mean, at the end, I can tell you where to contact me, but stay in touch because I don't do, it's word of mouth, what I do. So if you like it and you connect with me, and that's actually the way it is with the fans that I have, is that I certainly never expected ever to have fans, ever. Like, it didn't occur to me. I never did publicity, but the thing is that whoever remembers me is that's my fan base. Like, it's word of mouth. It's like, if you've seen my work and you like me and I'm memorable, then that's why we're here, because it wasn't certainly through somebody, saying, look at her. So, anyway.
You played Monique so well. I just want to say you played her so well.
Just because like this way of thinking, she's a go-getter. I am a go-getter. I'm someone who is solve problems, and it is just and a very kind nature. But sometimes you have to think, and you have to go after what you want, and you don't let go that way really fast. And if something gets in your way, turn.
Wow, thank you. Oh my god. Sorry, you're making me so happy. Oh my god, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're
Thank you.
welcome. And didn't that film have the best lines?
Yeah, it did. It really did. It
What
really
were
did.
some of your, do you have any things like what did you like about the film?
I like how good your character was, and then I like how like John Cusack's like goofiness, like he's like goofy and funny. I also like
Yes.
the between you and him the dinner scene, like how he plays like the saxophone. Oh, it's like so good.
I
Perfect.
know, right. See, there's another example of creativity and romance. We always think, oh, if you want to go on a date with somebody, you take them out to dinner. It's a big fancy dinner. And it doesn't have to be like that. My gosh, showing who you are and being genuine is the most attractive thing. And you'd be surprised what if you can make a girl laugh, or you can make them smile, or it's not about things, it's about feelings. If you can make a girl feel special and important, or other way, a guy, I mean, if a girl's with you, and it's both ways, where if a girl made you feel important, or if you had purpose in the relationship, purpose is important in romance, kind of finding what you do and what they do, and you don't want to necessarily be the same. People, opposites attract sometimes, so but I do think that's romance. And I don't know, I think, I don't think romance is dead, but I think it has changed, and I think we need to allow it to happen, and sort of, these movies inspire that. I think it gets us in the mood.
Okay. What made you want to become an actress, and who was your biggest inspiration for acting?
I wanted to be an actress ever since I was 4 years old, literally. And I think that inspiration came from Marlo Thomas from the show That Girl.
Okay.
Because at the time when I was a little kid, I was the TV baby. I was the one who sat, down. My mom would be cleaning, and my dad went to work, and I didn't have any siblings. So I would sit in front of the TV and watch, cartoons or whatever. But That Girl was a show that was one of the first dark-haired actresses. And she played an actress on the show also. But at the time, there was like Petticoat Junction and I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched. And all the lead actresses, although they were women, which was a great thing to see, were blonde. And when I saw Marlo Thomas, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's like me. When you're little, you kind of identify with people because, I don't know, you don't even realize why. It's sort of like something that you just start, I think it's in development, sort of a development thing. And I just connected with her. And then, of course, she played an actress on the show. And she had a very upbeat energy like I did. So a lot of times I would watch someone on TV and they'd be very laid back and relaxed, but I had a tremendous amount of energy, as I do still today. So I identified with that. And so that's why I think she made such a strong impact on me. And after that, I just always wanted to act. And I don't know if it was necessarily just her, but I do think that was definitely a big part of my growing up, that I had her as a role model. And it's funny because I'm an artist too, and I paint. So I did this painting of her and I having like painting our nails. It was kind of funny. And it was like, because I did these paintings where I did two, like a famous person, you for a while, like it was a person who was famous, and I did this for people like you and Einstein having coffee at Starbucks. Like that kind of thing. And so I did these Kojak and you like having lollipops, whatever. So so when I did these paintings, my hairdresser actually knew Marlo, and so I said, "Could you please have her sign my painting?" And she did. And we took it, and I never saw her, but it meant so much to me because she, as an actor, as an actress, I don't know how I influence the next generation, but I really hope that someday whoever I influence will let me know, because that's a big deal. I think that's a big deal. And I know recently, you want to see something hilarious?
Sure.
Okay, I want to show you this as an example. Okay, hold on, wait.
Okay.
So you never know how you influence other people, right?
Mhm.
And on the internet, and I am, again, like, so I love nostalgia, and I always think, like, right now, not everybody knows who I am, but that's nothing. Like, I mean, some people don't even know, like, Lucille Ball or Carol
my-
Burnett. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
were huge. Or Cher. You're like, what? These are huge people. And, look, I mean, 10-year-old was not going to know who Meryl Streep is. So this is a big thing. Like, for actors, obviously people want to be remembered,
Mhm.
but, you don't know if you will. And
Mhm.
it's only as good as the next generation. So anyway, I was on the internet and I came across this.
Oh my goodness, that's so cool.
It is so cool.
That's so cool.
This is so cool. This is hilarious. This is a record,
Wow.
and it was made. It's called Tupperwave. Tupperwave.
Okay.
And there's a kind of music that's called, I think I'm getting this wrong, but it's some kind of music. Maybe the music's called Tupperwave. No, the band is called Tupperwave.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's me and then the Twin Towers, which
Wow.
I think is very powerful. Like, look
Yeah.
at the juxtaposition of happy face with, like, the end of the world. You know what I mean? Like, kind of
Yeah.
or nostalgia, the old days. I'm not sure how you interpret it. But I thought this was so cool, and when I found it, I posted it. And the artist who did this, and he contacted me, and he was like,
Wow.
"Thank you so much for doing that," because he didn't. I guess he just did it, and they also put some dialogue from Better Off Dead and some from Last American Virgin of
Wow.
me speaking. So that I love that. Like, to me, I just love the idea of now we're in a generation where all medium can be used to create new art.
Mhm.
Cool is that? I
That's
love that.
so
So,
cool.
like, have you ever heard of the band Avalanche?
Avalanche. What's
They
their
do this.
most known song?
They
Do
do
you know?
this. It's the same deal. They take old recordings of voices and they put it with hip hop music and just
Oh.
regular music. It is so cool. So, to me, this generation, your generation, has the luxury of using any time period of influence to create their own ideas and visual. I mean, we all use each other's influence. So to me, that's the beauty of the entertainment business, is that take whatever you need, obviously, ask or get the rights, whatever, but or just use their influence and move it to the next generation. And so for this, Marlo Thomas brought my interest. I'm bringing this now to the next generation. So who knows?
Wow.
Who knows who that will affect? Or perhaps it'll be a little someone playing a princess. Maybe they'll look for Bill and Ted's and want to play a princess, and they'll look to my character in Bill and Ted's to play that.
I like your voices, like your Bill and Ted and your Better Off Dead. I like those voices. They're so good.
Thank you. And like Susie Putterman. Oh my gosh! Like Susie Putterman was like, in TerrorVision. That I'm like, so like that is so not okay. Like that kind of big over bigger than life character.
You're so funny. Oh my! I'm sorry. You're funny and cool. Thank you.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. It's, you don't understand at my age to be the fun and cool one. Like that's a great compliment. That I'm honored. I'm flattered. Well, where are you, by the way?
Oh, I'm in Chicago. Like Illinois.
Oh, my son is in Chicago.
Really?
He's going to DePaul.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my! I know where DePaul's at. That's like not that far from here, to be honest.
Okay, so listen to this. My son is in a band called Swatches.
Swatches. Okay.
Yeah, so you should go check them out, because if they play in your area, go and see him and then say, hey, I interviewed your mom.
I got. What's your son's name? What's your name?
His name is Nick DeLaurentis.
Okay.
And go on Spotify, look him up, because he's got a new album on called Good Boy.
Okay, I'll be sure to check him out.
His music is like poetry. It is, and he plays the big double bass, the big upright bass.
Mhm.
But he also writes his own music, so he's in the indie band with Swatches, and then so you can listen to their music, and then you can listen to his music, Nick DeLaurentis, and his music is he's like poetry. It's so beautiful, and he plays everything and he sings. So,
Awesome.
but he's like my Zen kid. He's like deep and cool, and he's super nice.
Okay.
He's got bright red hair.
Okay.
He's adorable. He's awesome. You'll love Nick. Nick will love you. You'll love Nick. I mean, I'm telling you, he's awesome.
You know why he's nice?
Why?
He's nice like his mom. That's where he gets it from.
Yeah.
That's why he's nice.
I have to agree. I have to agree.
You're so nice. You're so like humble and down to earth. Oh my god, I'm sorry. You're very down to earth and humble.
Well, not everybody is like that. True.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been in the business for so long. I mean, literally, I started acting professionally, 10 years old.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I have done it so long that I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Actors, I mean, look, everybody goes into the acting business for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I went in because I love acting. I love the process. So some people go in, like I wasn't the little kid who said, I'd like to thank the Academy. Wasn't that one. I didn't hold the spatula up and go and the dish towel over my shoulders and thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about me winning awards. It was me reenacting cartoons or reenacting television shows or writing scripts and playing. It was playing. So I come from a creative head, and not everybody does. Some people go into acting because they're very emotional, and the emotion can be relieved through their work, which is beautiful. There's no right and wrong. But because of that, and that's why I teach, because I get it, and then I can pass it on and pass that love, and also like when I teach students privately too. Like I teach in a public school system, so I teach like thousands of kids.
Wow.
Seriously. Like I teach like so much. And then I do privates with students who really want to be serious actors. When I work with actors one-on-one, my job is to find out who they are and how they work. Because not everybody works the same.
Yeah.
And then once I figure that out, then I can, help them get to where they want to be, or to achieve excellence within themselves. Which is, to me, what we all want to be the best we can be.
Wow.
And how do you feel yourself within your work to show that makes you special. What makes you special is what makes actors special.
Wow. I like how you said. I like how you said the best you could be, because believe it or not, when I was younger, I actually came up with a quote: "If you try your best every day, you'll be the best you could be." When I was younger, I came up with.
Yeah. I think that's a great quote. And because we need to be ourselves, but when you strive for being the best you, is no one can compete with that.
Yeah.
And no one can be you. And I mean, and here's an example. And actually, I wrote my second book about this. When I started acting, a lot of actors say, well, if I'm not what's in style in the entertainment business, like, do I need to change to be an actor? Do I need to change? And when I was 10 years old and I started acting, they would say my hair's too short and curly, and I needed to straighten it in order to be in the entertainment business, which is a very kind of sounds really simple and like, okay, I mean, certainly as a kid who wanted to be an actor, that wasn't a big change, but it made me feel like I was less than, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, I guess I'm not good enough, so I guess I have to do what needs to be in the entertainment business to get work, which I'm sure millions of people who want to be actors have felt. Something that they have about themselves that they feel is not less than. So I did straighten my hair for years, and then the beautiful irony of it is when I turned 19, I went to college, and I had a chemistry exam. And right before that chemistry exam, I got a call for this audition for a film.
Okay.
And I booked out. Booking out means you say, I'm not going to the audition. Because I was like, I got to take my exam. I got to study tonight. I've got to take my chemistry exam. What's more important, chemistry midterm or an audition? Well, my chemistry exam, right? I mean, it's kind of funny. And it was for this film called The Last American Virgin. I'm like, what? I'm not going to go through that. What? So I go and study. And I let my hair go curly because I was so into, like, I got to study. I don't have time to straighten my hair. I got to study. So the next day, I go to take the test. I look at the test and realize I have a better chance of getting a lead in a feature film than I do passing this test.
Wow.
So I just check all the tests. Boop, 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 boop. I throw it in and I race to this audition. And I get there and they look at me and they say, oh, okay, well, the director left already, but we're going to fly you out to LA next week and we're going to screen test you. And if you get it, you stay and shoot the film. And if you don't, well, then you just go home. And I was like, okay, they loved my hair. And it was an Israeli film company. So to them, this curly hair was beautiful. And to me, like, I thought, like, I never saw it as beautiful. And I wound up in this film, The Last American Virgin, playing the dream girl.
Oh, okay.
And seriously, I would never have thought I would have been cast as that. But it was. I remember doing the film and thinking, I cannot believe that my hair is curly. And that was the first film, Last American Virgin, that curly hair, dark curly hair, was considered attractive.
Wow.
Before that, it was bushy and frizzy, maybe the best friend, that kind of thing, that kind of role. But this is the first time that a curly-haired girl with dark curly hair, which has like an ethnic look, was considered beautiful. And that kick-started all the flash dance, dirty dancing. It kick-started everything. And I remember and then all the auditions I had afterwards, they said, keep your curly hair, keep your curly hair. And I remember writing this down in my diary going, what is happening? Like, what is this? What? How could this be? So, this is a big roundabout way, but what I'm saying is, sometimes what you think is your biggest flaw or you are ashamed of is actually what makes you special and is maybe what other people want or it could be your calling card as an actor. So, and so if you ask me, do I need to change myself to be in the entertainment business? I will give you this answer, which is very true. The world may not be ready for you right now, but if you retain who you are, eventually it will be your time.
Wow.
So for me, I was spending 10 years in the business straightening my hair, and that I did that because I wanted to work and get work experience, and I'm glad I did it then because I learned a lot about entertainment and I got to work out. Okay,
Awesome.
I wasn't starring yet, but I got to make all my mistakes and I got to learn. So in that respect, I really think if you do need to change something, do it for the sake of, well, it's just, it's maybe fun to try to do something like that's not me as a character, and I enjoy that. But ultimately, what makes you successful is being you.
Wow.
And because no one is going to be like you. So as an actor, I would say, that is a very important thing. And the thing that you think is, I know a girl, it's fascinating. I know this girl who is maybe she's like 13, but she has a natural gray streak in her hair. Like,
okay.
Blonde gray. And when you look at her, you think she's colored her hair, but it's not. It's her hair. So when she went to an agency, the agent said, well, you're going to have to color it or cover it. And she knows, like, she can take her bangs and turn it over and she looks like she doesn't have a streak. But I know that ultimately that streak is what's going to make her stand out and be remembered and be unique. So it's just kind of, that's just a physical thing. Actors can use their voice. Maybe they have a very interesting voice and they talk like this. And so they might be very shy about their voice. That's what makes them memorable. Right?
Wow.
So
cool.
there you go.
Thank you. Okay. What is your favorite acting role that you've done for a movie and TV show, etc.?
Ever?
Yes.
Well, I do love Better Off Dead.
Mhm.
I have to say I have very fond memories of that. And if they ever did a remake, I would love to be in that film. I mean, I just like, I love it. I have a movie out now called Amityville Murders.
Okay.
And although it's it's on Netflix, obviously it's a sad story, and it's it's a real story about what happened in 1974 to a family where the brother, a boy, murdered his family.
Whoa.
And
Okay.
he's actually in jail. Ronnie Butch DeFeo is now in jail right now. And this movie was a remake, but it's also kind of supernatural, and it's called Amityville Murders. But basically, I think I did the best work in that film that I've ever done in any film, in a dramatic tone. Because I'm playing Louis DeFeo, so I talk like this, and it was my chance to, do another dialect, but also bring respect to people from Long Island, because I'm from Long Island. So I really felt like a lot of times you hear that voice and you think it's funny, and in that film, it's I try to keep it so that it can be seen as real, serious. It's interesting. But anyway, that I recommend now. But I've done a lot of oh gosh, I mean, and Bill and Ted's was the best as far as I mean, I got to kiss Keanu, and it's such hard work. Okay, I mean, seriously. No, it was most excellent. And the costumes and the just playing time traveling princesses, real medieval princesses, was most excellent.
Awesome. Good day. I'm just kidding. That's awesome. Okay. Now for weren't you also like, I think when you were like one of your first roles was like Amityville 2, I think, if I remember correctly, or was it one?
Yes.
One or two? Two.
And that's the other thing. Okay, so those of you who are seeing this, so Amityville 2 is more of a horror film. It is a classic horror film. Whereas Amityville Murders, to me, even though it's considered horror, if you love horror, you might be disappointed because it's not as much of a horror film as a lot of other things that you see today. So, that's why when it came out, I feel like a lot of people might be disappointed. But if you see it as a separate film, like a drama or more of a docudrama kind of thing, then you'll be like, ooh, that's cool. So Amityville 2, this is what is amazing. I am the only actress on the face of the earth who has ever played the daughter and the mother in the same story. Now that's really unusual. Basically the same story. So in the first film, Amityville 2, The Possession, I play, it was Patricia Montelli, which was loosely based on John DeFeo. And then this young boy watched, he's 12. I don't know what his mother was doing, letting him go watch that movie, because it was rated R, and it is rated. But he watched the film, and it affected him so much, he never forgot it. His name is Daniel Farrens. Well, Daniel Farrens grew up to be a writer-director. He did Friday the 13th movies. I think he wrote. And then he decided his first directing opportunity was going to be with Amityville Murders.
Oh my
and he
goodness.
contacted me and asked me to be in this movie playing the mother. Because he never forgot that film. And I thought, what a brilliant idea as a director to go write a film and then have the person in it play the different role. And I burst into tears when I found out. I just was like, that is so cool. And it's so cool for fans too. Like,
yeah.
So I'm waiting for somebody to do the rip reel, where they like take a piece and they put it together of me like talking to myself as child me, talking to adult me,
Never know.
Someone's gonna do that at some point.
Yeah, never know. Never know, because like today's society on YouTube and all, you never know.
Yeah. And by the way, I think it's super cool when people do that. I mean, I don't know, it's another part of the creative process. I think it's really cool when people take pieces of media and put it together because it's what they see, it's their idea. Actually, this is interesting too. I did the film Last American Virgin, which I have such a soft spot in my heart for that film. I love that film. I know a lot of people, it's a little risque, but it's it's such a good movie for guys to see, more so than anything. It teaches them about sex, but it also teaches them about love.
Mm.
The two things. If you're a guy, I have to say, it's probably a great movie to see. I think it's almost should be like a requirement. But anyway, don't tell your mom. But that film, I've seen people do a remake of, like, they would do their own version. Like, I've actually seen somebody affected by that film so much that they made their own version of it.
Wow.
And they like cast a Karen and they redid the ending. And I thought that's phenomenal that they went to all that trouble to make that, because it's connecting to them so much.
Yeah. If you could pick any movie, TV show, play, etc., what role would you have liked to be in? Like, acted as the actress, but obviously you didn't, but you wish you could have.
All right, here's what I want to be in. I mean, I don't know if I'm. You know, it's funny. I don't know. I know that people see me in a certain way, right? Today. Okay, it's not like I was cast when I was younger. So, as an adult, right? Like, I know that it's different. But I would love to be cast in What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, okay. The TV show.
Playing a vampire. What We Do in the Shadows is about these vampires who are it's a hilarious show. But they're very contemporary, and they're sort of like vampires have to, they live in a mansion and have to deal with, normal life, and it's kind of how do you survive as a vampire? It's hard. The lights are on outside, and you want to get your sleep, and you want to you party at night with other, you go to clubs if you can, because you're a vampire, but I mean, it's that kind of a tone. And I love that. And I would also I'd love to do like a Star Trek kind of thing, because I've never done anything like that. Something futuristic and Trekky, because I just think it's a classic kind of world. And wow, there's so many great shows. I would, I love comedy, but I think all in general. I mean, the first thing that came to mind was What We Do in the Shadows, because I've been watching it. But I know that there's a lot of I would like to do something that is. I love characters. Like, the character has to be good. And if the character is good and it falls into the story well, then I'd like to do it. So I like even young filmmakers and people who want to do things. I believe in young filmmakers and people who want to do shows, new voices. So I'm always open to reading material, looking at different things if people are into it, serious about it, and I don't do short films now, but I do if people move it forward and they want to approach me, I'm open. But anyway,
that's cool.
Interesting. Yeah. What would you like to see me in? I think that's the better question.
I could see you in the What Do We Do in the Shadows. I could see that. You could play as a vampire. I could really see that. I could really see that.
Because of course I can talk like vampire. So I could be character that is talks like this, I want to date, but I'm too shy to go on Tinder, so I have to only date people who are hanging out in the alleyways. I don't know,
Yeah, I can see it though. And believe it or not, is my hobbies besides podcasting. I actually write scripts. Believe it or not.
You do?
Yeah.
Good. Well, now you've got something to think about. A witch is good. There's so many. What about I think a witch would be really good. A witch that has to deal with normal society. I don't know. There's so many ways to go. So let you figure it out.
Okay.
But then send it to me.
I got you. Okay, I'll send it. I know where to find you. I got you. All right.
Good. We got a deal. All right.
Okay. Over the years of your career, do you still keep in touch with your co-stars, directors, etc.?
Yes, I do. It's so exciting. All right, so I am friends with Kimmy Robertson from Last American Virgin.
Okay.
I see her at conventions, and I also see Lawrence Monason, so we see each other. I've actually spoken to Steve Anton from the film, and he's just busy. But we are still friends. I used to, when I first came to LA and I did Last American Virgin, I would hang out with him and his sister Robin Anton, who actually was the choreographer to the Pussycat Dolls, which at the time wasn't. We were all just young kids, but then she became that, which is phenomenal. And then I'm also still friends with Amanda With. And we see each other at conventions, have gotten together, and I love her. She's great. And then I see Heather Langenkamp, who was in Nightmare, and and she, like, we see each other at conventions, but we all like each other, and we stay in contact on social media. And Catherine Mary Stewart, I saw her recently. Deborah Foreman, I have not seen. We are Facebook friends. We talk a little online, but we've never met. One day, it's going to be iconic. We're going to meet. I'm really I have to meet her. We are destined. I just got in contact with Savage Steve Holland because of my book.
Wow.
So he wrote a bunch of stuff for the book, which is great. So I still have contact with him. And Curtis Armstrong, I'm still in contact with. I see him at conventions. I even saw John at a convention.
Wow.
You were talking about John Cusack, and he's in Chicago. You know, that whole thing recently where he was trying to film media and the police, assaulted him in a sense. And John, I loved seeing him. He's just a sweetheart, but he's doing his thing, and I wish we could do a film together again, but whatever. I saw Alex Winter.
Oh, that's cool.
About maybe a year ago or so, we did a Q&A.
Wow.
And so he's great. And I see other princess, Kimberly Case. I see her as well, and we're very good friends too.
That's cool.
So I think when you're acting as an actor, it's not that maybe they're going to be your BFF, and sometimes obviously you work for intensely for a month, and then you never see each other again, right? Like that kind of thing, kind of like high school. But you never forget your experience with that person. And I'm somebody where I want to help my fellow actresses and actors, and I really, really love these conventions that have been created because they not only give the fans a chance to see me, but I also get to see my friends that I work with, and I get to see other actors who I perhaps have admired but never met, make new friends. And the other thing is I get to see the ones that I grew up with. Like, I remember I met, I'm trying to think, it was the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh, wow.
And there was Anne-Marie? No.
Mary Tyler Moore?
Yeah, wait, was Anne-Marie? Who is Anne-Marie? It was the Dick Van Dyke Show, I think, but it was the woman who played the neighbor or the friend.
Oh, I forgot her name. I hear talking about. I forgot her name. Oh.
And see, there we go. I like that. Or I met her and I was like, oh my gosh, I grew up with you. Oh, you know who I met? I know. I met Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's cool.
That was just mind blowing for me because when I grew up, that was what was on TV. I was like, oh, and she was lovely. She was so lovely and so cool. So that's the kind of thing that happens at these conventions. Just to let you know, signing conventions are a blast, and they are great whether it's a Comic-Con or a horror convention or a celebrity convention. They're all handled the same way, meaning that there's a protocol of how to there are these tables, and there's a protocol of how to approach people, and how to you'll see once you experience it. But I really have to say, if you've never been to a nostalgic experience like this, you got to do it at least once in your life. And the horror film conventions have such nice people in them. I mean, it might look wacky and crazy, and might be, but it's not. They are the nicest people. So I really want to make sure you know that. I would not put myself in a situation that was dangerous to experience, right? You couldn't pay for something that's right?
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, no joke though, there was supposed to be a horror convention, but now it's canceled because of this virus. Alex Winter was supposed to be there. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the timing of it.
Yeah. I was like, no.
With Bill and Ted 3 coming out, that would have been huge. I mean, he'll still be there after the film comes out. It's I'm sure they're going to do a lot of publicity. That's for sure.
I was like, no, I really want me. I really want me him. So yeah.
We have to time travel. Get that phone booth back. And
Yeah.
Time travel before the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So we can do it.
That'd be cool. Just get like a time machine. That'd be
Right?
dope.
Okay, everyone can find the phone booth. Where I know they're hard to find, so that's why it's going to be a trick. We'll have to jam ourselves into it, which will be really tight. And then with the corona, we'll have to wear a mask. So,
Okay.
Let's do one at a time.
Okay. Who is the coolest person you worked with? Coolest person.
Oh, that is a terrible question because, well, your questions are all great, by the way, and that's why this interview is cool because you've got great questions. Boy, that is tricky. When you first say that, I want to say Bill Paxton.
Okay.
Because I worked with him on a movie, and then we wound up dating after.
Ooh.
So,
Okay.
ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
I was called Deadly Lesson, and sweetest guy, like such a sweetheart. So that comes to mind, you know, like whoa, like I remember that. I know, like, and Burt Young was amazing because Burt is such a funny guy. He's so funny and so nice. So I loved working with him, and I got to work with him again in Amityville Murders, which was amazing. So like I learned a lot from Burt. You know, like I really learned a lot about acting, and from Amityville to The Possession, and that's where he played my dad.
Oh wow.
Oh my god. Well, I love John Cusack. That was awesome. Love working with him. But you know, John and also what is it? Lawrence Moniston, and also I think Keanu by just a little bit. Were a little bit younger than me, just a little. But so I was kind of more leading in those acting things. But it was very fun because when I worked with all of them, it was before everybody sort of hit. And frankly, my feeling with John was that I got to work with him on the best of all the films because his character was so endearing and so sweet. And then after that, I think he, you know, obviously did more serious roles. So I feel very fortunate with that. And as well with Keanu, he played this like endearing guy, and I got to get that as boyfriend with this film. And you know, then he, you know, played more serious roles after that too. So. And then Lawrence played, you know, did Friday the 13th. So I think I was very fortunate to work with them when I did. And I think there's magic on the screen with all of them. So, yeah, I think, and I'm trying to think as far as a woman goes. Well, that's so, you know, okay. So Laura Waterbury, who played Mrs. Smith, Reggae, she was perhaps the funniest person I've ever worked with. She killed it. And we were just really trying not to laugh when we worked with her. She's amazing. Such a funny woman. She passed away, unfortunately, since. But she was the one that I really regret that I didn't get to interview for this book because I loved working with her. And we actually had to travel for publicity for Better Off Dead to Mexico together. So we got to know each other even more. So
that's cool.
I might make a tribute to her in my book.
Cool.
And then I think, well, Curtis Armstrong is brilliant. He's just brilliant. Another one. I think it's interesting as an actress because obviously I'm working with someone in a scene and I'm working with them, but then sometimes you get to see magic happen, and that's what happened to Lucy Curtis. You see him perform and you go, where did that come from? You know, that kind of thing. Or also like Kimmy Robertson, she can say anything and it's funny. Just the way her sincerity and the combination of the way she takes in the information and she puts it out, and her voice, and she just is lovely, and I really enjoy it. But when I act, I have to stay very concentrated and serious, so I can't laugh. Wow. And then with Kim Darby, I worked with her a couple of times, and that was really fun. I worked with her in a movie called Summer Girl, where we did, which was a drama, and I play an evil babysitter. I kidnapped her kids and I pushed my boyfriend off a cliff. I seduced her husband, Barry Boswick. So Kim Darby and I, we get along great, but in that relationship, we were like, I was the evil babysitter and she was the mom who was, you know, family was being taken away.
Mhm.
And then we worked with each other in Better Off Dead. And she played the goofy mom. And I don't even know if we had any scenes together. I'm thinking, I don't know if we.
I think
we
you
had
did.
one scene, the Peru scene.
Yeah.
The French Fed. And that was crippling. So fun.
Mhm.
So, yeah, those are those are the ones that come to mind right now.
Mhm.
But I've had a lot of experiences working with very, very big directors and auditioning and getting very close to some big projects like Amadeus, where I worked with Milos Forman and Saul Zantz was the producer, and I was sent to Czechoslovakia and put in full costume for that film and tested with every part of the film. I screen tested. I screen tested for Karate Kid.
Oh, that's cool.
And like I've met like a lot of. I think I met John Hughes for 16 Candles.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I met a lot of people throughout the years of being in the business, and you know, I think it's when you connect and that you're the vision of what their story is about. That's really what it is. So there's a lot of people I would have loved to have worked with. I would have loved to work with Quentin Tarantino. You know, but I'm just not that style, you know, for him. So I get that, you know. But that doesn't mean I don't admire his work and think he's like amazing. So, but yeah, there you go.
Wow. Okay. What director taught you the most, and which director would you love to work with?
Oh, what director taught me the most? Good question. I'm thinking. I'm like looking around this like all my projects. Thing that stood out with me, because you know sometimes the director like Savage I love working with because Savage would guide you, but he lets you experiment and create. So if a director makes you feel comfortable, which he does, then an actor is more likely to bring magic. But if a director is very tight, sometimes then the actor is dutiful, but isn't necessarily learning anything. They're just, you know, being the muse for the director's thing. So like, do that, do this, and do this. And so you can be very technical as an actor too. You have to know as an actor how to access yourself to give the director what they need in the moment. So, but when the director says, just do your thing, let's see what happens. All of a sudden, the actor goes, oh my gosh, that will make me connect even more so to my character because now I have to connect and then let's give it a shot. So I think great directors are the ones that like to play. Like they'll go, let's see what you have, and let's bring it. And then they kind of work backwards from what you give them, as opposed to going, do this, do that. So that's kind of my experience. And so I really love working for Savage. But I also, you know, it's funny, like when you're saying that, it made me think of Michael Anderson. I worked with him. He did Around the World in 80 Days. And he was like a Academy Award winning director, I think, winning or nominated, I'm not sure. And he was very thoughtful, very like, he actually, it's interesting now that you're bringing it up. I think Boaz Davidson, too, because Boaz and I had to be very connected when we did Virgin. It was my first film, and I was very vulnerable, and I was nervous because I didn't know what they wanted, what to expect. I'd never done a film before. I'd been in commercials and voiceover and a soap opera and theater, and I'd done all my training, but this was the first time I was on film, and it was the lead role, and so I really had to trust him. And he was a very kind director and very gentle and very supportive and didn't push again. You know, I think when you work with an actor and you push, the actor goes back. So you have to understand to be more just thoughtful. Anyway, I think that to me is what, if I was to work with someone in the future, or what was the second part of the question?
All good. It's fine. Which director would you love to work with?
Oh my God, there's so many. Wow. like weird. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many. I mean, I'd love to work with Quentin Tarantino because I think it would be interesting. You'd never expect me to be in that kind of a film. And in fact, what's interesting is I have a movie that's supposed. I have 3 movies that are coming out this year. One is called High Holiday.
Oh, okay.
That's what that's about.
Yeah.
I have a cameo in that, and I have another cameo in I can't even say the title because it'll be too much of a reveal. But I play a DJ, an 80s DJ in that. And then I have this movie called Waking Nightmare.
Oh.
And in Waking Nightmare, you are going to see me play something you have never seen me play.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that is why I think it's fascinating. It would be great to work with a director that was that had subject matter in something that I hadn't done before. You know, like I mean, like to show me in a new light. I think that would be very cool. Oh gosh, yeah, just like any director that has vision. And then they go, oh, no, I would like to see her play this kind of character. I think that would be most exciting.
Awesome.
So, for now, that's
Okay, cool. If you were an actress, what would your career be, and what other interests and hobbies do you have besides acting?
Yes. If I was not an actor, I would most likely I would have majored in biochemistry and been a scientist.
Okay.
That would have been, I would have liked to try to find cures for diseases. I think that's really that was my first and initial love was. In fact, when I went to college, I did not major in acting because I was like, I'm not going to spend my good money on something that I can learn and figure out outside of college. Because to me, college, having been an actress, I go, well, you know, most of what it takes to be an actor, you need to learn outside of a university or a college. So, and the key to being an actor is being a real person, having real interest, like you said, like outside of, acting like something, like being true to your interest. So I thought if I become a scientist, well, I could always play a scientist, like I'm learning about being a person and like, that kind of thing. So that was my philosophy. And then I actually, every time I went back to school, I started going to school at NYU. I did a year and a half. And every time I went back, I got an acting job.
Oh, wow.
And that would take me out of college. So years went by, years. And finally, and then when I had my kids, I stopped acting. And I thought, okay, maybe I could take some classes at night once in a while. And I actually got my degree in 2017, I think.
Wow. Okay.
I think 2017 or 14. One of the two. I think one of those two. I forgot now. But isn't that crazy? So I actually got my degree. Now, the thing is interesting is I changed my degree over to English. And why I did that was because when I started with acting, I thought since I did so much of my life acting, I thought, well, how can I take my acting work and turn that into something that's going to help the future? And I realized, well, maybe I can take it and teach. So I thought, well, maybe if I become an English teacher, maybe I can bring my acting into the classroom, which of course then I found out has nothing to do. You teach English, They won't let you teach drama. So I said, okay, well, fine. I got my BA, and then I got credentials. And so now I teach drama as a drama teacher. So I'm giving back. And I love it. So now I can take all the experience and knowledge that I have and bring it to the next generation.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. And I don't advertise or anything. And I mostly say it's like word of mouth. And also I've been focusing on kids. Because sometimes you don't know what the adults are like. At least in my life, I was like, okay. But I do think it's funny because I teach kids. The kids are like, oh, yay, we love our teacher. And then, the parents are going, oh my God, your mom's Diane Franklin. So, so I go.
That's funny. Favorite band and type of music? Favorite band and type of music? Oh, sorry. Favorite band.
Okay, this, I've got to say, I'm just going to cut to the chase and say my son's music.
Your son's music? Okay.
He's got an album called Good Boys, and it's on Spotify, and his name is Nick DeLaurentis, and that is my favorite band and music right now, and it's just awesome. And it came out. My second favorite is Jake Hayes, and he is on Spotify as well. And Jake Hayes, his music has an 80s flair.
Ooh, okay.
Very cool, and he is also my daughter is in his videos. So
Oh, that's cool.
He's really, really talented. He's got great music. Different style than my son. And then other than that, I love 80s. I like 80s music. Yeah, I have to say that was my,
Good music.
and I think it's because it's upbeat. And I also like I like alternative 80s. I like rock 80s. I like just the whole thing.
That's cool. See, I actually got to meet my favorite band. They were 70s, 80s, 90s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Nirvana too in the 90s.
Nirvana.
That was. I mean, I don't know if maybe who doesn't, but yeah. I do, and I also I do like rap. I listen to rap. I listen to like Lizzo now. I mean, I have my contemporary music I listen to. But I do love my 80s, and I go to this thing called 80s in the Sand.
Oh, okay.
I've been able to go for the last 3 years, which is amazing. I don't know if I'll be there this September because of the quarantine, but if they're doing it in Mexico this year. But all I can tell you is sometime, if you love the 80s and you're over 21, you have to go to this event. It's called 80s in the Sand. It is the most fun event because you get to see the bands that you grew up with right there on stage. You meet them. Every night there's 3 concerts.
Wow.
I go down as a celebrity. They have 80 celebrities. It's in an all-inclusive resort. It's safe. And the people who are at this convention, they pretty much sell out the whole hotel, are so nice.
Wow.
And they're up. So let's say you would go to a convention. Let's say you'd go to a resort for an event. All these people are adults, and they all love the 80s. So you automatically have something to talk about, and it's great.
That's so cool.
It's super fun. People dress up, they decorate the doors. It's
That sounds fun.
And they just love it.
It's cool. Can I tell you my favorite band? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know Queen?
Yes.
Queen. I actually got to meet Brian May. I had to meet Brian May and Roger Taylor.
Oh my gosh! Did you get them a picture with them and have them sign something?
I wish my phone was dead, but I actually got their autograph at least. So, at least I got that. At least I got their autograph. So, yeah.
Can you believe that? That's like the nightmare when you're about to do something incredible. My daughter had that with Flight of the Conchords. She wanted a picture with Jermaine Clement, and when I was about to take the picture, the battery died. Long ago it was, and she very calmly looked at me and said, "Turn the battery around." Okay, and I got that last picture, but still, I understand. I'm so glad you got their autograph.
Yeah, I was like, yes, I finally got to meet my favorite band. You know what I mean?
Phenomenal. That's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means everything. That's like a life changer. It's a game changer.
They were super nice too. I'm sorry. They were awesome. Okay, next one. Hopefully, when things get back to normal sooner rather than later, are there any projects that you have in the works?
Good question. Wow. Let's see. Well, yes, I have a lot of. Somebody just offered me a work in a film today. I have to look at the script. That's the key. I do have some conventions coming up. I have one. Well, I have one in July. I don't think I'll be going to that. It's in Long Island. At another convention, I have one in, I think, end of October or middle October, I think, in Florida.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In Pasma or something. And I've never done a convention in Florida. So stay connected with me on social media, because if you're in Florida, that will probably be one of the only times I'll be invited to go down there and do a show. I don't know, for some reason they haven't had me down there. And and then I have this 80s in the Sand in October, and then I think somewhere next year. I think I'm in Wisconsin. So right now, I think that's all that's happening. I don't know. There's so many things that happen, and then with this virus, everything got switched. But I will say, I have planned to get my book out before the end of the year. So if I can do any publicity for that, I will be doing that.
Awesome. That's cool. Come to Chicago, right? Really cool.
I will, and seriously, if I can, I mean, I would come to see my son, but at some point maybe we can meet. So.
Like, hi, Miss Franklin. You remember Joe?
Yes, exactly. I would.
That'd be so cool.
Absolutely.
I like.
I would love
Yeah. Okay. Next one. What advice would you give younger people who want to become an actress or an actor, or actress?
All right. Here's the deal.
Okay.
First, number one, don't give up.
Okay.
There's this fairy tale or story about the tortoise and the hare,
Okay.
right?
Mm.
And so, you're going to be the tortoise every day. Like, you do your thing. There's little things you do. But have there also be, like, you might get pictures taken and go on auditions, do this. But this is the tortoise is the thing that keeps you going forward. So as an example, as an actor, let's say you're trying to meet agents, and study acting, or you're trying to go get yourself out there. So the tortoise part would be maybe write your own material and write a film or something that you star in and produce it, or perhaps study acting as you're going through these auditions. Keep studying and working on bettering yourself and your craft. Maybe you want to audition. You want to write a play or do a play and work on that. Get some friends together to do that. You need that through line to go of something you're working on slowly that combined with the thing that you're doing fast. All right. So, I mean, during coronavirus, this is a great time to do research as an actor. You should be on the internet studying dialects and behavior and watching films and memorizing monologues and working on scenes. And there's so much time that you can be working on your craft. That's what I even study that too. I watch things and go, okay, familiarize myself with certain styles and practice memorizing things to keep yourself fit. The other thing is be yourself, and that means embrace yourself and don't just do that out of a thought. Embrace yourself physically. It doesn't matter, keep yourself healthy. It doesn't matter that you're fit. What matters is that you're working, that you acknowledge your body as part of your instrument. You got to keep it fluid. You got to be able to be moving. You got to have self-control physically. Actors, it's a workout to be an actor, So don't ignore your body. Don't ignore your voice. Don't ignore your emotions. I would maybe keep a diary, write down your feelings, and this way you can look back at if you have to play a character and have something going on, you might be able to look back at that diary and bring back thoughts of that so that you can play a character. There's a lot of things you can do. So I would say don't give up and use the internet as your source, your resource to keep working towards your own betterment.
Wow, great advice. I like that advice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if I ever offer classes online, you can call me. I'm in the process of doing it, but I've had so much going on that I've pulled back. So at some point, maybe I'll do that more.
Maybe. Okay. Anything you want to promote or shout out?
Well, I would like to promote something I didn't talk about, which is my daughter, Olivia, is a filmmaker, and she actually has a show on Snapchat called Apocalypse Gold. And so I'd love people to check it out because they did season 1 and they're going to be she just finished season 2, but they haven't posted it yet. So if you want to see a kind of a mini me, she talks like me, kind of looks like me, I think. I don't know. People have said that. Check it out. And these are 5-minute episodes, so you probably can see the whole season in an hour, which is such a relief because, we don't usually want to spend so much time watching stuff. But, and I'm and she did another series called Sugar Babies, which is on YouTube. So the other thing was on Snapchat and YouTube, and I'm in I'm in episode 3 or 4 in that. But she's hilarious. My daughter's an actress, and she's also in a show called Prank Encounters. So I'm like her manager now. I'm promoting my kids, Nick De Laurentiis and Olivia De Laurentiis. Check them out. And for me, yes, stay on my social media so when I start announcing when things are coming out, the films, my book, you can connect with me. So go to Diane Franklin 80 on Twitter. So no S, but 80, 80 on Twitter. And on Instagram, actress Diane Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
And on Facebook, Diane Franklin official fan page. And that would be under the group section. So you'll see 2 black and white photos, and that is me. So hopefully this has been entertaining for you, or something interesting. And there's so much more.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay, thank you so much all for watching. Thank you for being a guest too, Miss Franklin. Thank you.
You're most welcome. You did a most excellent interview.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jill.
I'm gonna go on it.